Welcome students in standard 7th class Ncert syllabus geography subject chapter 2nd inside our earth. Have you observed while eating bananas what we do? We peel out its first layer, we get its core part which directly we consumed. But if we try doing same things with an onion, what will happen? It requires several layers. It contains several layers. We have to require to remove these layers. So what will happen? It will take lot of time to reach its core part. Because an onion is made up of several concentric layers. Like an onion, our planet Earth is also made up of several layers. Here, Earth is made up of 3 layers. Various 3 layers. Crust, mantle and core. You can see in this image, Earth is made up of several layers. Crust, uppermost layer, mantle subdivided into 2 parts, upper mantle, lower mantle, as well as core is also subdivided into 2 parts, outer core, inner core. Now, interior of the Earth. My dear students, exterior of the earth, for explanation, it is quite easy. When anybody asks to us, explain about exterior of the earth, directly we can say there are major oceans are there, continents are there, mountains are there, rivers are there and so on. But it is quite difficult to narrate about the interior of the earth. Several years required, lot of technique required to get it, find the various oceans which present in the interior of the earth. Then too many things still mysterious to us about the interior of the earth. The earth is made up of several concentric layers with one inside, another crust, mantle, core. First we will study about crust. One layer deeply we will study crust. Crust is the thinnest layer. The uppermost layer over the earth's surface is called as the crust, where we build our houses, where we set up factories as well as where we do transportation activities. That is the layer where we are living. That is the uppermost layer of the crust. It is the thinnest of all the layers as compared to mantle and core. Crust is much thinner. It is about 35 km on the continental mass and only 5 km on the ocean floor. Continental mass, Earth is divided into 7 continents. So, continental mass is the land is divided into continents. So, wherever the continents are there, from there if we go deep inside the earth, near about 35 km, up to there, crust appearance is there and only 5 km on the ocean floor. From the ocean floor, if we go below 5 km deep, that area and 35 km area equal, and up to that layer, what is there? Crust layer is available. The main mineral constituents of the continental mass are silica and alumina. Means the continental mass, continents are made up of several minerals and those minerals especially made silica and alumina. Means continental mass is made up of silica and alumina, it is also called as Cr. And the oceanic crust is the floor of the ocean, which is made up of silica and magnesium. It is therefore called as Sima. Silica and magnesium. Now this is the planet Earth. You can see greenish part. It is called as continental mass. And this is the portion which is covered by the ocean and the floor of the ocean, that is called as oceanic crust. If we go below the oceanic crust, continental mass, ocean and the oceanic floor. Now mantle. Mantle is just beneath the crust, which extends up to a depth of 2900 km below the crust. Below the crust, if we go near about 2900 km, that area is consists of mantle layer. Here we can see this is the brown color portion which is comprises of mantle layer. Mantle layer is subdivided into two parts, upper mantle and lower mantle. In the upper mantle means asthenosphere, there is magma chamber. There are many magma chambers from magma. It is called as rock liquid, which is after melting rocks due to the heat and pressure. Magma produce and magma hot gases due to heat and due to pressure. It starts many a times erupting on the surface, and if this magma erupt on the surface, we used to say lava, volcanic eruption, and through the volcanic eruption lava spread on the surface. So when this magma from the magma chamber erupt on the surface, it is called as volcanic eruption. And when magma erupt on the surface, that magma is called as lava. So from the asthenosphere means upper mantle, there magma chambers availability. From that magma chambers, most probably due to the heat and pressure, magma erupts on the surface. And here these are the waves due to heat and due to the pressure. Many waves move upwards and downwards like jigsaw puzzle. Now the core. The innermost layer is the core with a radius of about 3500 km. It is also called as thickest layer of the earth. It is mainly made up of nickel and iron. Core layer which is made up of nickel and iron, also it is called as nickel. The central core has a very high temperature and pressure as we go deep inside the earth. So earth's temperature become rising. So we cannot imagine how hot is the core part of our planet Earth. This is the inner part of planet Earth. Innermost part, inner core, this is the outer core. Now rocks and minerals. The earth crust is made up of various types of rocks. Various types of rocks. After that rocks, when rock broken into smaller particles, it is made up of various minerals, and then afterwards it converted into soil. So rocks, any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up the earth crust is called rock. It can be different color, size and texture. There are three major types of rocks. If we visit various places, we found that the places, rocks as well as soil, the soil texture, color are quite varies to each other. Cause of that, these rocks are made up of various minerals, and the availability of particular mineral making effect on the particular type of rock. So there are three major types of rocks: igneous rock, sedimentary rock and metamorphic rock. Now igneous rock. When the molten magma cools, it becomes solid. Rocks thus formed are called as igneous rocks or primary rocks. Igneous rock is also called as primary rock because for the sedimentary rock as well as for metamorphic rock, primary material which obtained from the igneous rocks. So when the molten magma when erupts on the surface, we used to say lava. So that molten magma, when erupt on the surface, becomes cool and then rock formation takes place. That type of rocks are called as igneous types of rocks. There are two types of igneous rocks: intrusive igneous rocks and extrusive igneous rocks. Sometimes magma erupt. Suppose this is the magma chamber, this is the crust. Sometimes this magma move upward due to heat and pressure and it's erupt on the surface and becomes cooler, and in this way igneous rocks are formed. Okay, so this magma moved upward and formed the type of rock that is called as extrusive igneous rocks. But many a times magma, before erupting on the surface, reaching to various cracks, and over there only it becomes cooler and the rock formation took place over there. Such a type of rocks are called as intrusive igneous rocks. Intrusive igneous rocks formed below the surface. Here, extrusive igneous rocks. When molten lava comes on the earth's surface. See here, lava when comes on the earth's surface, magma comes on the earth's surface, we used to say lava. But before coming on the surface, when it reached inside, we used to say magma. It rapidly cools down and becomes solid because air availability, when this magma appeared on the surface due to the air contact, magma becomes cooler rapidly. So rocks formed in such a way on the crust are called as extrusive igneous rocks. For example, basalt. The Deccan Plateau is made up of basalt rock. See, we are living on the Deccan Plateau, and the Deccan Plateau is formed with the help of basalt rock, and basalt is one type of igneous rock. Then intrusive igneous rock. As I said, sometimes the molten magma cools down deep inside the cracks or deep inside the earth's crust. Solid rocks so formed are called as intrusive igneous rocks. As here, there is no availability of air. Cause of that, this molten magma requires lot of time to cool. And cause of that, such a type of rocks, intrusive rocks are formed which are very hard in appearance. So such hard rocks are used to crush grains as well as for grinding mills, mortar for crushing spices, etc. So granite is an example of such a type of rock, intrusive igneous rock. So here some of the igneous rocks names are there. Andesite is there, basalt is there, which is Deccan Plateau is made up of basalt, as well as granite. It is also one of the hard rock which is especially made for grinding mills. Then pumice is also there, rhyolite is there, scoria is there, tuff is there. So these are the example of igneous rocks. Now sedimentary rock. Rocks roll down, crack and hit each other and are broken down into small fragments called sediments. Here rocks roll down due to water as well as due to wind, due to rain. Rocks broke into smaller particles as well as many a times hit each other due to the flow of water, flow of wind, and the parent rock broke into smaller fragments, smaller pieces, and those pieces gathered at one place, those called as the sediments. Sediments, the smaller particles which reached at the bottom. So the rocks which formed with the help of sediments are called as sedimentary rocks. These sediments are transported and deposited by wind, water, etc. Means these sediments with the flow of water, sometimes flow of wind. Due to that, it got deposited at the bottom of the surface, and then sedimentary rocks formation took place. These loose sediments are compressed and hardened to form layers of rocks. These sediments which settled at the bottom compressed due to heat and due to pressure and then formed into the rock. Such rocks are called as sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks which formed with the help of sediments. These type of rocks are called as sedimentary rocks. For example, sandstone is made from the grains of sand. So here sedimentary rocks which are not as hard as igneous rocks. So coal is example, daily life example, as well as rock salt, sandstone, iron ore, limestone. These are some of the examples of sedimentary rocks. Then the metamorphic rock. Igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks under great heat and pressure. When igneous rocks as well as sedimentary rocks comes under lot of pressure as well as heat, it converted into metamorphic rock. Clay changed into slate and limestone into marble. Limestone, as we have seen in the previous slide, limestone is one of the sedimentary rock. And this sedimentary rock, when it comes under great heat and pressure, it converts into marble. Have you observed Taj Mahal historical monument, which is made up of marble from Rajasthan, Makrana place, from the Makrana mine? This marble brought, and this marble is especially unique. One of the historical monument is made, that is Taj Mahal. So in this way, metamorphic rock. Some of these examples of metamorphic rock: gneiss is there, slate is there, which is used to make for writing slates earlier. Then the marble is also one of the example of metamorphic rock. Then here rock cycle. The process of transformation of the rock from one to another is known as the rock cycle. As we know that igneous rock is called as primary rock. Means sedimentary rock and metamorphic rock formation purpose, sedimentary rocks particles are needed. So these rocks changing one state into another, and thus the rock cycle formed. The metamorphic rock, which are still under great heat and pressure, melt down to form molten magma. So igneous rock to sedimentary rock, sedimentary to metamorphic, and when metamorphic rock under the great heat and pressure, it converted into again molten magma. Again this molten magma erupts on the surface, and again it converts into igneous rocks. So this rock cycle goes on. This molten magma again can cool down and solidify into igneous rocks. So this rock cycle become active. Here the rock cycle, we can see here igneous rock is called as parent rock or primary rock. These igneous rock, due to the weathering and the erosion, with the help of wind, with the help of water, these igneous rocks, sediments settle at the bottom, and these sediments under the heat and under the pressure, what is happening? Sedimentary rocks formed. Sedimentary rock, due to the change of heat and the pressure as well as some of the chemical actions took place on it, and thus metamorphic rocks are formed. Then metamorphic rocks, due to heat, lot of pressure, these metamorphic rock melting and the magma formation took place. Again this magma erupt on the surface and those igneous rocks are formed. So this is the rock cycle goes on. Minerals and its uses. As we studied about various types of rocks. So how these rocks are formed? Rocks are formed due to various minerals. See, rocks are formed of different minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring substances. Minerals are naturally naturally occurring due to the variety of climate, substances, various minerals. Due to those minerals, types of the rocks are formed, which have certain physical properties and definite chemical compositions also. So those rocks are differ to one another due to the physical properties as well as chemical composition. For example, coal, natural gas and petroleum. They are also used in industries, iron, aluminium, gold, uranium, etc. Sometimes these minerals are used in medicines also as well as fertilizers.